evening, everybody. Hope everyone can hear me. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Let's see who we've got in the chat. Hi, Leamington Station. Hot Dog Pilot. Andy, how you doing? Flymo, how you doing, sir? Valley 56, how you doing? Leicester Station. Tom Houston. Peter Jackson. Oh, and my chat's just disappeared. Where did I get down to? Tom, Valley. Yeah, hi, welcome to the stream. Yeah, they're going around a bit fast. They're not going around at scale speed, shall we say. So I hope everyone's doing well. Now we've got 16 in the chat already, so don't forget to hit the like button for me, guys. So while everyone's piling into the chat, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to tidy up some scatter I put on earlier in the week, vacuum that off. We're also going to do a bit of ballasting using my ballast vac. So if you've got any questions on any of it, put it into chat. If I miss a question, sure Flymo or somebody will highlight them to me. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Big Boys Fun, how you doing? Oh, my chat's just started scrolling again. Hi Kieran, hi Anthony, how you doing? Grant Salisbury, how you doing? Jerry, H&H Express, how you doing? And anyone else I've missed? My chat just took a big leap there with So what you're looking at here, anybody who doesn't know, this is a model of Pedigo Station. It was one of the busiest stations in the county. It was the Irish broad gauge 5'3" station. It would have been busy because from coming through this station you'd have had the Bundoran Express, which would have carried on to Bundoran, which is a seaside town, and it would have originated in Dublin, so a lot of holiday makers would have passed through here. But also this was a stepping off point for Lough Derg, which is a Catholic pilgrimage site, where you go off into an island in the middle of this lake, and they call it St. Patrick's Purgatory, so that gives you some idea of what it's like. I've never done it myself. But yeah, now this station would have closed in September 1957 when the line from Enniskillen to Bundoran was closed. So I'm working on this at the moment. I'll pan the camera around in a minute, adding extras onto it. This was kindly donated to us. A gentleman called Aidan Dunn built this layout. He's since passed away a few years ago, and it came into our possession. It was donated to us. In fact, I had Barbara, his widow, his wife, and his mother, who was 96.5 years young, here during the week, and they came to have a look at it, see what I'm doing on it, and make sure I'm looking after it in the memory of Aidan, which they were quite pleased with what I've done on it so far. So we're keeping it, keeping the spirit of Aidan alive here in this layout. Hi, Mysterious Mechanic, how you doing? So anyway, I'll pan you around. Some of you have seen this already. So I'm only using one camera this week. So over there you can see the hillside sort of farm area that I've created that the train goes through. So basically it goes in a big loop all the way around there, on through the tunnel, around the back of the station, and then it pops out over here. And this is the bit I'm working on at the moment. There's the rock face I painted a few weeks ago. So this area here, I put down some scatter beginning of the week, so that should be dry. So I'm going to vacuum that off now, and then we're going to ballast this track along here. So I'll leave you watching the trains for a while. While I get everything ready. Bit of a rush tonight getting in here because as well as moving house and trying to sort that out, my car's given up the ghost as well, so kindly my daughter left me in. I'm also hoping that she'll pick me up again. Oh yeah, don't leave things on the track when you've got stuff running. Hi Ian, how you doing? Thomas Johnson, how you doing? Robert, how you doing? Yes, Robert, you would know where Pettigo Station is. So I hope everyone's keeping well. And who's going to Worley? I start my journey there tomorrow. I'm getting a lift up to Derry in the morning. I'm going to get the train to Antrim, and then it's a taxi or a bus ride to the airport to fly into Birmingham. Going to be there in the NEC tomorrow evening, giving them a hand setting up, and then be there all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then I fly back Monday morning. And I don't have my thing with me. I think we are on C41, I think it was. Anybody who's got the plan there, the Inver layout, that's where I am, where I'll be part of the time if you're looking for me. Yeah, I hear a lot of people aren't going because of the strike. You know, if anything, I thought the rail unions would have realised Worley was on and gone, maybe we won't strike that weekend. Yeah, that's what we all do, Big Boys Fun. Watch everybody's videos and get ideas. Go to train shows, you get ideas as well. And you see how people do things. Go, oh, I didn't think of doing it like that. We're usually a helpful bunch. Get plenty of advice here. Anyway, let's switch off the trains. That's something you should always do when you're working on a layout. Make sure you've got all the power off, because you don't want to accidentally hit something and short something out. So the first thing I'm going to do, I will turn the camera around. Right. So I'm going to vacuum up this bit, so it's the old stocking over the end of the vacuum. I brought my own vacuum in from home today because the vacuum we have here in the museum, the on-off button doesn't work, so you have to switch it off with the plug to get it to work. So put it on minimum power. And then we've got the stocking over the end. So might get a bit noisy for a while, guys. So we're just vacuuming it up. And take the tub. Switch the vacuum off. I have to do this a few times because I don't know if the camera's picking that up. You can see how it's all stuck in the stocking. You can put it back in the tub and reuse it. So I'm going to carry on doing this. on the vacuum. You see how this does take a while because the stocking fills up. Of course, it also helps if you don't put it on too thick. But if I remember rightly, when I was scattering it on the other day, I had one of those oops moments where a big lump of it fell out. Now, I could use my ballast vacuum, which I'll show you in a minute, to do this, but I only have one bottle with me, and that's why I'm doing it this older way, which is just as effective. I did actually put this on fairly thick. Oops. Right, I think that's most of it off now. Oh, there's a rip in the stocking, so I've lost some. Right. So there you can see, now backing off the scatter, you can see there's some brown coming through. I'm not worried about that, because I'm going to be going over this with various static grass, so that will cover any bits of brown that are still showing. Right, so the next thing now is if I put this over here, maybe not getting seasick with the camera moving around. Right, who else has popped in while I was doing that? Oh, hi Carol, how you doing? Anyone else pop in? Oh, Tim, how you doing? Tom Couples, I don't think I said hello to you yet today. And anybody else who's popped in while I was doing that? I want to break free. Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, did I see another name I hadn't seen there? Was it Ian Fraser, did I see? So, hi, anybody who I haven't mentioned, if you popped into the chat while I was busy vacuuming up my scatter. Right, so the next thing is the ballast. hole in this. So what I'm going to use for this is I've got some aquarium gravel. I'm looking at this now. Might be a bit too fine. But we'll give it a go. Yeah, looking at it now out of the packet, it is very fine. It's more of a sand texture, but I'm going to give it a go using it anyway. So there it is there, so it's focusing on it. So it's a case of just spooning it into position. I usually use aquarium gravel, which is a bit coarser, which is the stuff I used here. And once you give it a bit of weathering, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm going to spoon this on and just see how it looks. And I've got a feeling when I use the vacuum on this, it's just going to vacuum the whole lot up, so I might just do a little bit and just test it. I'm just going to do that little bit there. You can see. Is that coming up all right? So I've got my ballast vacuum. So the ballast vacuum has got this little attachment on the end. You can see there, Bricks Hill West. You can see there's a crack in it where it stood on it, but it still seems to work. And it comes with another attachment, which is that one there. And you screw to the bottom of your choice. Mine is Dr. Pepper. And then you attach the hose to your vacuum. Now, this is where you make sure your vacuum is on minimum power, otherwise it just crushes the bottle. So we'll switch on the vacuum, it's going to get noisy again. You see there's two slots in there which you put on the rails, and you just run it along. You can tidy it up. And it's actually worked okay. I'll show you the bottle. There you can see how it ballasted. It didn't leave many on the rails, and you tidied up the edges, and then the excess is just in the bottle, so you can reuse it. So that seemed to work okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put gravel back over it, the whole bit of the track, and then go back and vacuum over it so you can see it. I'm not getting too dizzy with the camera moving around. So I'll pour that back on there. And normally I would use a tablespoon for doing this, but all I could find in here is this plastic baby spoon. I daren't go into the cupboard and take another spoon for modelling. So this, all you're doing when you're using the vacuum is you're just scattering it on, because the vacuum then comes along and tidies it up. And it just, if you're one of those people that likes the mental torture of ballasting with a brush and tapping the rails, carry on. But I think this, the vacuum attachment, possibly something like a tenner, well worth it. And you can get so much done so quickly. Now I've got some wiring to do on this bit of track. So normally I wouldn't do this until I've done the wiring, because then you just have to drill through the ballast and create a bit of a mess in your... But I just want to do some modelling this evening. Same thing, be careful around the points. And just make sure before you glue anything in place there's a free movement. So I'll put the bottle back on. Hi Clive, how you doing? It's Clive at Donegal Railway. How you doing? What have you seen a couple of times, Anthony? It's very unforward. What's going on? What have I missed in the chat? Oh, we got 32 in the chat. I think that's a record for me. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. And subscribe if you're new here. We'll be coming live from the museum here for the next couple of months until I get my layout in shape. Anybody who doesn't know, I've recently moved house, so I have to convert an attic to build my new layout. Anybody's seen on the community tab there, I put a picture up of my layout, wood, all in bits in the store here. Anyway, I'm going to put the vacuum on again, so it's going to get a bit noisy. Squeak. Let's just tidy up around the edges. So you can use this as well for tidying up scatter. I didn't use it this evening because I only have one bottle with me. There you are. There's that track ballasted. Oh, sorry, just hit the camera. Bear with me a minute, guys. Hi Dinmore, how you doing? So, there we can see, you know, what did that take? A couple of minutes to do? And there's the track ballasted. So, now I need to put some glue on it, and that's the same old... Oh, do you know what I didn't bring? So I didn't bring a misting bottle. So I'll put the glue on wet. Right, let me just have a rummage around in my boxes I've got in with me, see if I've brought one with me. No, I did, I found it. Tell you what I didn't bring with me was a pipette, which I thought I did. Yeah, find it. Right. Normal servos camera zoom. Oh, hey Charlie, how you doing? Yeah, I will be weathering the rails. So when I've done this, I'll go over the sleepers or railway ties for our American friends with a bit of sleeper grime, and then I'll try and do the side of the rails as well. Obviously I only do the sides that are visible, I don't bother doing this side where you can't see. Right, so I've got a spray bottle. It's just got water and a bit of dishwasher rinse aid to help break surface tension, and I just give it a good soak. You don't want to spray it too hard so that it disturbs the ballast. And then I've got my 50-50 mix of PVA and water, again with a bit of, sorry about that, was my phone going off, with a bit of dish soap in it, again help break the surface tension. I'm just looking for something to decamp this into so I can pat it out. Oops. Right, so fluid, pipette. What I normally use for this is, when I'm doing big lots of it, is I have, you know, one of those bottles that you get in calves with the ketchup and mustard and that sort of stuff in it. I use one of them just to, when I'm doing large sections, because it's so much quicker and you can control the flow of the PVA pretty well. I think this aquarium gravel that I'm using, although it's quite fine, it's more sand-like, it's probably about the right scale for ballast. So I think that the ballast you buy at the Woodland Scenic stuff is quite large. Now some people, when they do this, they just put a load down the middle and let it seep out. But I like to run a line just down along, just to make sure. And when this is dried, remember to clean your track, because I didn't when I done the section that's going into the tunnel. I forgot all about it, such a rush to get it all done. I put the tunnel up and on and everything before I ran a test train. Of course I got stuck in the tunnel. I was like, why did, and then I thought, I didn't clean the track after I ballasted it. So then there was a whole rigmarole of reaching my arm in and sending in track rubber on a stick. At least with this bit, it's not going to be in a tunnel, so if I forget to clean it off, it's not the end of the world. There we are. You can see there, all the glue has started to soak in. Now, it's probably going to take a few days, I would say, to dry, especially in the conditions we have here at the moment, where it's about 4 degrees, bucketing down out of the heavens. Let's not put that on there. Yes, I'm wrapped up, got woolly hat on, scarf, big jacket. Right, I'm just going to pour the glue back into the bottle I haven't used. Sorry, I'm just tidying up the vacuum here so I don't trip on it and break the attachment, because that's what happened last time. I had it on the floor and stood on it and I heard the crack and I thought, oh no. Right, that's that tidied up. Right, I can have a look at the chat now. Hi, Singing Wongo, I see you there. You had questions about the functions on the Hornby Select, and I'd answer them on the live stream. Yep, put me to the test now. Stick the questions in, and I'll see if I can answer them. And if I can't answer them, or someone else here will. Peter, from what you said there, I would say yes, the Hornby controllers are best to be avoided. But if you're starting out in DCC, like when I first started going to DCC, the first thing I done was I bought a Hornby train set, DCC controlled, so I could figure it out. In fact, I bought two sets. One came with the basic select, and the other one came with the Railmaster, because being an IT, I thought, oh, that'd be quite good, controlling it from the computer. It's not the best system. I definitely want to go over to something else. Leamington, you've asked a question, have you? Oh, God. What do you think are the pros and cons of the Hornby DCC controllers you use? Well, I use the Railmaster, and I want to get something else, so that should tell you what I think of it. That's going to train shows, seeing what other people use, asking them about it. That's what I intend to do a bit at Worley, to see which is best. Well, function 0 to 8. Usually function 0 is lights, and then function 1 is sound, and then the following functions are things like the horn, wheel squeal. It really depends on the chip that's in there and what sound effects they have. But certainly with 0 to 8, you can control the lights and switching the sound on and off, and then a few other sounds. But I'm sure the Select now has an upgrade that you can use more than function 08. I think if it comes with version, after version 1.5. Look, singing Wong Ho, if you're just starting out in DCC, Hornby Select, basic controller, does basic things. It's good to get you started and up and running, and then you can then go on and decide which controller would suit your layout best. It all depends what you're running, how you want to run your layout, what sort of program you want to do. The Railmaster, the biggest pain with the Railmaster Leamington is the controller keeps disconnecting. Well, it doesn't disconnect during when you're running the trains, but when you're setting it up, it'll go, can't connect Railmaster, disconnect the USB cable for 5 seconds, put it back in, restart Railmaster. And there can be a bit of messing around like that sometimes, which is a bit of a pain. Depending on the computer you have as well that you're running it on, I find sometimes mine freezes and it won't do anything. You're trying to stop a train, but the screen's frozen, and you're trying to hit the old stop button to stop a crash, and you just have to pull the power out to stop everything. Yeah, see, Clive there from Newen, it said for the updated version. Now, if you have an old version, I believe you can send it to Hornby, and they will upgrade the new firmware on it. I'm sure it's version 1.5 or 1.6 or something like that, which has, you can update the CVs and has more functions on it. Well, the function buttons, they're there to control, obviously, the functions on the chip. If you have a normal non-sound chip, then it's just going to be lighting functions, which is going to be switching the lights on, possibly controlling the cab lights. If it's something like my A-Class, which is from Irish Railway Models or Akira Scale, they have a lot more lighting functions on them. So you can have it, run it with the lights off, with running lights, with lights in the engine room, cab lights, that sort of thing. So they have more functions. But if you get the later Select with the later version on it, then you'll be able to control more functions. Yeah, look, say if you're starting off and you're putting a chip in something, and you've got a DC layout, what you can start off doing is making, if it's a roundy round or an end to end, it's just making one line DCC, wiring that controller, isolating from the rest of the DC layout, putting a chip in it, because the reason I got the Select is when I was learning about DCC. It was a test bed, and then as I learned more and more, I thought, right, okay, this isn't the right controller for me. I need to move on. But to start off with and make sure you get on with it, it's a cheap controller. It sort of does what it says in the tin, and you can work away with it. Lone Wolf, yeah, there are a few kind of Donegal Railway then and now books. We have a few. If you check out DonegalRailway.com, go to the shop, you'll see a few books on there. Yeah, Thomas Johnson, hi. That's what I was saying there. Yeah, it's all right to start off with as you're new to DCC and control it. And as well as that, other DCC controllers, I think, are easier to control. They're more instinctive to use. Like Hornby seem to have their way of doing things, and they don't seem to do the same way as other people do it. Anything you should be aware of, Railmaster? No, just make sure you're running on a decent PC. I say you're going to have issues with every now and again where it just disconnects and you have to unplug the USB cable, plug it back in, restart Railmaster. There's a file on there that when you're loading your locos on it and everything, make sure you back that file up. So if anything happens to your machine, you don't have to reload all your locos and that sort of thing on there again. You have the file just to slot back in again to get up and running quicker. And just scrolling back through the chat, see if there's any questions. Okay, Ewan, I see you're going. You're probably gone by now, but bye. I'll catch you again. In other words, a typical Donegal summer's day. Yeah, it's pretty much, it's dark, wet, and cold. See your question there about Cato track. Anybody have any advice on ballasting Cato track and securing it? I've never used Cato track, so I don't know if anybody else in the chat can help you with that one. I've gone back a good bit there. I can't see. If I've missed any questions, put them back in again. Thanks, Station. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you've got any questions, put them in the chat. Or if you don't want to put them in the chat, if you look in the About section below, there's a link to a Google Doc where you can put your question in anonymously. All right, let's make sure everything's off the track and we'll switch the trains on for the last few minutes. Before I forget, Bernie contacted me earlier on to say that he wasn't doing his stream this evening. He wasn't feeling very well. So Bernie's not doing his stream tonight. That's Crossway Point Junction. Right, I'm just going to have a bit of a tidy up here so I can get away when my daughter arrives for me. Move the stocking off the layout because that will cause a few questions when people come to look at it. The rails, the actual surface of the rails where they make contact are clean. The side of the rails and that are dirty to give that weathered look. And you can see some of the sidings here which aren't used. They're obviously painted over to look rusty. So you can see this siding here is rusted. Hi Stanover, how you doing? No, welcome to stream. See now, all this here is not my work. This is Aidan Dunn, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years, and his family donated the layout to the railway here. Came through his wife Barbara and also a friend of theirs, Anthony, no not Anthony, Enda, who brought it up here, who actually took it from Barbara and then contacted us to see if we wanted it. I think I've seen a question there from, let me, to be honest, I find Railmaster great when it works. When it doesn't work, it's a pain because you have to restart it, and as I say, you have to unplug it and plug it back in. Important thing, as I said, make sure you back up that file once you've loaded all your loco details onto it to make sure anything happens, you can restore it quickly. The thing I find annoying with it is you can only select, when you've got the screen up, you can only pop out 2 controllers, which when I was running my layout, I had 4 trains going at the same time. It'd be a lot easier if I had 4 controllers that I could just click on, because I find it a bit clunky to select an engine. That's something I find. It seems when you see people with a handheld controller, they can just put in the loco number, pull it up, and control it. It doesn't always work that smoothly with Railmaster, but give it a go. You might love it, or you might hate it. Yeah, it does have a shuttle. The red logo you can see going up and down, it's just got one of those simple DC shuttles with the diodes on it. The bit that I've just ballasted, I'm putting another shuttle on there, but that will actually have a point controller on it. So the loco will go backwards and forwards, one into the cattle dock and then into the goods shed. I hope to do that during, I'll probably have to do it during one of the live streams because it's the only time I have to do any modelling at the moment because, as I said, I've moved house, I'm up to my ears in it, surrounded by boxes, trying to get everything sorted for Christmas, and I don't really have any time for modelling. I had this idea of building a little sort of shelf layout for the windowsill for Christmas to run my Coke trains on it, but I just don't have time. Well, behind the backboard, because this is a goods wagon, there's a door on the other side, so I can open that door to get at the track behind. But I have one of those little, I can't think of it, where is it? It's not here. I must have taken it home. One of those little, it's like the CMX cleaner, but it's not. It's the Charge. If you look back a couple of videos, I've done a video on it, a review of it. It's a little tanker that's got cleaning pads on the bottom, drips out cleaning fluid onto it and goes around and cleans the track. You pull up behind a loco, works great. If you get any trouble with it, Lambton, drop me a message or whatever, see if I can point you in the right direction. Yeah, that's the thing I find whenever you're watching YouTube videos, you think, yeah, I want to go and work on my my layout now. Yeah, we weren't expecting to move. It was just September, this house came up. We went and looked at it, put an offer in, it was accepted, taken off the market. 6 weeks later, we had the keys. And now we're just surrounded by boxes. Of course, the stuff we would normally put up in the attic, stuff that you only use a few times a year, like my camping gear and the Christmas decorations, that sort of thing. They're all sitting down in one of the spare bedrooms at the moment because obviously I want to get up there and board out the attic and do all the attic before we put everything up there. So the house is a mess. Yeah, thanks Flymo for putting up the membership details there. Anybody who becomes a channel member, this is what your money's spent on. It helps me buy the stuff for doing the layouts here in the museum. So things like buying the scatter, the ballast, the glue, some little engines, that sort of thing. So it doesn't get spent on me or my own layouts. It all goes here to the museum here in Donegal town. I even bought a worsting kit, which is for making wicks, oil wicks, for putting on our steam engine drum boat. Yeah, Tim, you're a member. Flymo's a member. It's all very welcome. I say that's all the money is used for here. I don't use it on my own layout. I don't use it for myself. All the money raised on this channel helps me buy stuff to maintain and build these layouts at the centre. So all people just watching the video, people who are channel members, you've all helped me build this. Buy the static grass, the plaster, the sea foam, matchsticks for the fences, trees, houses. That's what it all goes on. So it's very much appreciated, and I thank every one of you. This, for anyone who's just joined, I'll give you the story of this one. So this is a layout of Pettigo Station, which was a station in Donegal, County Donegal. It was on the broad gauge network, and it closed in 57, September 57. Now, the gentleman who built this, he passed away a couple of years ago, and it's come into our possession through their family and friends of the family for us to put it on display. Originally, it would have been not an end-to-end layout, but this was, the station here was the scenic section, and then there was a loop around with sidings so you could run stuff through the station. Now, what I've done here, because this is an old wagon, if I can step outside. Oh, hang on a minute. So if we step outside, you can see that is an old goods wagon coupled up to our steam engine drumbo there. So that sits in there nicely. And what I've done is I've created a loop that goes around here in the tunnel, goes around behind the layout, and then pops out in that tunnel there and comes out here. So I've created it's basically for interest. So we have that train there on a shuttle going up and down, and then there will be another shuttle going on this line here. There's the point, so it will go up here into the cattle dog, go back down, the point will change, and it will come up here and go into the goods shed. That's a little bit of the history of it. Possum Bayou, hello, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. It's good to have all these different names on here I haven't seen before. You're very welcome to the stream here. Right, you got me back again? Sorry, I didn't notice the mic went flat. So let me just clip on my extra one. Is that better? Back again? Yeah, Mark, I'm live streaming from the museum because, as I said, I've moved house. I've got no layout at home at the moment. It'll be at least 6 months before I lay a bit of track again on my own layout. So I'm doing my lives here from the museum for the next few weeks at least anyway, which, let's say, because I'm moving house, I've no time to do anything. So this hour on a Thursday gives me a chance to come in here, do a bit of modelling, progress the work on this, because I wanted to get this done for Christmas so we could have it properly opened up for the public at Christmas. But our Santa things starts not next weekend, the weekend after. I'm just not going to get it done now. Yeah, I done a live when I started dismantling the railway. It took me, anybody who's seen my old layout, it took me 2 full days to take it apart, to lift all the track. Most of the track I can use again. I clean the bit that were ballasted will clean up quite nicely, so it's not too bad. But it took me 2 full days to dismantle it all apart and then move it. And it actually took 2 transit van trips to move all the wood and everything. Okay, H&N Express, take care. You have 3 points that are supposed to be used with point motors. They don't snap into place. Now, did somebody take the... Are they new point motors? Did you get them second hand and somebody might have taken the spring out of them? If they loosely float, it sounds like somebody took the springs out of them. Hi Nigel, how you doing? Yeah, so what somebody's done is taken the springs out of them. So what you need to use is either a slow action point motor, or get the seat, Gauge Master seat point motors. The PM5s, I think they are. They're the ones that you can use if the spring's been removed. Because I got some second-hand points, and the spring's been taken out of them, and I used I think it was the PM5s, because they come with a little spring on it, and you can use them because they latch it into place then. Yeah, Singawong Ho, that's what it sounds like. The springs have been taken out. I say if you use the either tortoise point motors or something like that, or use the Gauge Master seat PM5s, I think they are the ones for use with no springs. Hi Brian, how you doing? Yeah, PM5s, because say I bought a load of points ages ago off somebody on eBay, and they were very kind. They actually sent me some extra ones as well, and they had the springs. They were express points, Pico Express points. Worked perfectly. They had the springs taken out, and I just had to use the PM5s on it, so they latch into place. So, hands up from everybody who's on here is going to Worley. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm having a weekend break to get away from the house move. I spent yesterday putting up shelves and putting stuff away, and today I was trying to sort out the shed and put stuff away. And tomorrow I'm being driven up to Derry where I can catch a train. I haven't been on a train in ages. To Antrim to then transfer then to the airport and get my EasyJet flight to Birmingham. Oh, you're in New Zealand, are you? What time is it with you in New Zealand? Yeah, say I'll be there. You'll see me in my red hoodie. You'll also see a smaller version of me with glasses, my daughter. So she'll be wandering around. So go up to her and say, "Hello, Donegal daughter." She'll love that. Even better if you can ask for a selfie with her. She'd love that. 9:35 a.m. Oh, so you're in tomorrow. Yeah, so do come up and say hi. I warn you, I am terrible with names. So I'll probably look at you blankly as my brain's searching around in there for your name and it won't come out. So please don't be insulted. I was trying to remember that. I didn't bring my sheet with me tonight. I think it's C41, the inver stand. If anybody, it's the inver layout. Of course, my program and everything is in my other bag. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's C41. Is that right, Brian? Is it C41? Inver? Yeah, Worley is the in the NEC, Nigel, in Birmingham. C41 forever, yeah. Thanks, Peter. Well, I'll tell you what, because I want to look around at things, is I'll make sure I'm at the Inver layout for, shall we say, 1 o'clock both days. So if you're about and you can't find me, you don't run into me, I'll make sure I'm on the stand at 1 o'clock. Anybody who wants to come up and say hi. Oh, what's on stand A1? That must be the bargains, is it? But you see, Brian, I get to go in there Friday evening and help out, so I'll be able to scout the place out first. Oh, the Worley Club stand. Are you a Worley member, Brian? I'll have my Worley name badge on as well, though it doesn't say Donegal Dad. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can add on my mobile phone, and while we're chatting, for people who haven't been on here before, I'll just show you Drumbo or steam engine. So bear with me a second. Plus if it works. Alright, bear with me guys, I'm just trying to add my phone. I'm not sure it's going to work. I hope there won't be any feedback. So there we have one red wagon in need of a fresh coat of paint. Lighter construction than the grey wagons. Grey wagon carrying I think 7 to 9 tons. Red wagon will be about 2 tons. And then we have our 3-foot narrow gauge steam engine Drumbo. So she's all shiny and new. She's been back here just over a year. Fortunately, she's had all her fittings robbed over the years. But if we want to put her back into action, we just need to get the boiler done. So we've actually got coloured lights on, so I can take you down the other side now. Let me know if the sound disappears because I'm walking away from my base station, my radio mic. So you can see we have her lit up at night, which will help me show. And can I put my torch on? So you can see there the running gear. All greased up, maintained. She's free moving. There she is there. You can see there how they have one central buffer and coupling, so there would be hooks going between the buffers there. As I say, there's the other door, so I can get into the back of the layout through that. And there we have the body of Railcar 15, and attached to that is Coach 58, which we currently have getting ready for our Santa experience. So come in through the door here, get on the train, ride it up through there. We have Mr. and Mrs. Claus up that end to meet them. Still online. Thank you, Preston Bay. I had to scroll back to see what you said. Seen, who was it said they would get hit on the head? Oh, Thomas Johnson. I do that all the time at home when I'm watching something. Is I'll have that on the TV and then using the phone to try and keep up with the chat. So I'll tell you what, I'll put this mobile onto solo screen. And then I can, if I tilt it like that, it should go full screen. And then I can give you a closer view of this side, what I've done here. So going into the tunnel there, it's just a hillside, static grass, tufts, flowers and that. A couple of little buildings, some horse riders. And we've got sheep on the hill over here, fencing. And over here we got some seafoam trees and some standard off-the-shelf trees. And up there we have a unit that's going to display all loads of different models. Oh, hi Digger, how you doing? And so from here you can see where I've tried to blend it in. This is the original Pedigo layout. So single track coming in, split into a passing loop in the station. You've got the water tower. Now this is all scratch built, hand built. There's the station, waiting room, signal box. I think he put detail in the box. And we've got a good shed, cattle dock, a couple of sidings, and it goes back into single line. And over here you can see painted rock face. Again, up this side now there's going to be more models on display. I said before, somehow when I was building that, I forgot to fill in the gap there. So when it's all done, there's going to be a couple of trees there to hide that. I'm doing well, thanks Digger. And we've got a couple of 704 signals here. That's not actually a Donegal one, that's off the main line that we got donated. And there's one from the 1940s, sorry it's in the shadow there, you can't see it very well. And we've got some gearing there. Oh, there's one of those shots now, you can go into infinity. Yeah, why is that gone on? Oh, look at that. Why is that gone on the side? The camera's fallen over. Ah dear. I'm just trying to get the chat back up again. So don't forget to hit the like button for me, guys. Oh, why are you tired, Digger? I hope it's just from a hard day's work, not from you're not feeling poorly or anything. Should be great British Railways by then. Yeah, that's one of the problems, Nigel, when you're watching it on TV, is you can't always just hit the like button on it if you're not signed in. I always like it when my son leaves himself signed in on the TV, I just go and subscribe him to my channel. Right, it's coming up to 5 to 9 now, so I think I'm going to start shutting down the stream because my daughter will be here soon to collect me. And I have to get this packed up and get everything locked up again. Be ready for her. You never know, I might have a chance to call into the takeaway and get myself a cheeky burger. Sounds like a plan. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Be back next Thursday. Hopefully I'll catch up with a few of you at Worley over the weekend. I'll be back next Thursday from here again. We'll do some more probably static grassing on there. Maybe wiring in the new point controller I've got for there. See if we can get that working. But that will probably be done over a couple of live streams. So it'll probably take a couple of hours to put in. Oh, thank you, Dave. I've got your t-shirt. I'll bring it with me. I'll be wearing that as well, so that'll throw a few people off. They might see me in a grey shirt for a while instead of the red one. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, and I'll catch you all next week. Take care, everyone. And hopefully see a few of you at Worley. Bye, everyone.